fucking Facebook fucking bullshit. Jävla skit. I've been, for 25 minutes, I've been trying to get this fucking thing to work, and I can't get it to work on the web browser. I don't know why. I got it to work on my own page just to check it, just as a trial. When I started to do it on the Facebook site, it all just, the go live button was not there anymore for some fucked up reason. I don't know. Anyway, so that was that. Hello guys, if anybody's watching, at least one. Hi Yuika. I can actually read the comments this time. I couldn't last time because I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But anyway, so now here we go. Let me tell you about my day a little bit. It's been okay. So far we're doing good, all of us, as far as I know. But I just like 5 minutes ago got the news from Joachim that one of the original guitarists from Riot has passed away, Lou Kovaris, which is really terribly sad. I don't know why or anything, just know that it happened, and I'm very, very sorry to hear that. We all are. So our condolences to the family. He was a really cool guy. I met him only once or twice, maybe. We went to the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame or something like that in California. Let's see, this was January 2018, and then I believe, or 17 maybe, when they were inducted anyway. And he came to the show that we did in New York in the same year or the year after. I don't remember which it was, but that's the only time I met him. He was a really, really nice guy, and I know Riot was one of Joachim's absolute favorite bands since 40 years or so. So yeah, we're all very sad to hear that. So anyway, let's get to it, as they say. So I can see all your comments. I'm going to try to put up the live feed here. Okay, so well, not the live feed, but so I can watch all of your comments. Fucking hell, that's a lot of them. Anyway, so Junior Bzura asks, hey Oscar, do you know when the bells of hell strike 666? I don't actually. I don't know when they strike 666. I wish I could have a cool answer for you, but I think that's Joachim will probably know the answer to that more than I do. So hello from Leksand. It's a bit difficult for me to read these, but all right. So anyway, let's get to some questions. We have so Axel Heidenberg from Sweden, I guess, because I know this guy. I know who he is. He's asking, is there any chance that you guys would release official guitar tabs, maybe a tab book or videos for your YouTube channel? At the moment, we have no plans for that. We did actually do that once. I think it was for the Renegade album, if I'm not mistaken. And this was, of course, 20 years ago or so. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe 19 years ago. Nobody cared really. So we didn't do it again after that. And part of the reason we won't do it now, I don't think, is because shit like that is available everywhere online. I mean, we could do some guitar, not lessons, but guitar clinics where I sit down and play and show you stuff. We could do that for sure, but I don't think we'll do a tab, like an official tab anyway. And yeah, a disclaimer now. I tried to delete the questions I answered last week, but if I answer something that I already answered or Joachim already answered, bear with me, because I might have missed something. You never know. So Daniel Henrik Andersson asks, how does it feel to be the one band who made the rebirth of heavy metal possible, the band who saved us from grunge? Thank you, Daniel. I don't know. the thing is, there's some truth to that. I mean, we were part of the big heavy metal renaissance, and I think that we helped usher the new era, or the new metal era in at the end of the 90s, early 2000s. But for us, it was never a matter of well, it was a matter of saving us from grunge, I guess, because I never liked that music style. I never cared for it. But the thing is, with you know, we didn't have any delusions when we started HammerFall, and we were doing this, like the recordings for Glory to the Brave was in November of 1996, and at that time nobody outside of HammerFall even cared, you know, that we were doing this. Well, Fredrik Nordstrom, the producer, cared because he was working with us on it, but there was very few people who cared, and so we didn't really have any aspirations of you know, that we would make it with HammerFall. It was just a labor of love for us. That's what it was. So when everything happened so fast and it started spinning, for us it was almost unbelievable. But it also made it easier. What we didn't know was that there was a lot of people apart from us that weren't interested in the grunge, or at least not only interested in grunge and aggressive music. There were people who wanted melodies as well. So that was a nice surprise for us. But it feels really good because it sounds corny, but I'm a heavy metal fan since birth. I got it in here, and it's that's just the way it is. I love heavy metal music, and that's why we did it, and that's why we do it, really. So I'm gonna try. See, I put it up here. I'm gonna see if I could answer some questions as they come in. Mia Björk says, "Hey Mia, hey Mia." Kram Omom says, "Great shirt, thank you." It's thank you very much, Kram Om. I'm just gonna because of all this bullshit, I forgot to plug the charger to my phone in, so the battery is of course almost out, almost done. It's only 10% left. That's just the way it is. Think if we can do this. Yes, we can. Maybe that's not gonna work, of course. See what we can do about this. Yes, here we go. Fucking crap. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm usually pretty well organized and prepared, but this is like embarrassingly bad. So Augusto Holm writes. Oh, he writes in Swedish. He's Brazilian, but he asks, "Can you talk a little bit about how you write songs?" This is from the guy who met you at the latest gig in Sao Paulo. Okay. So the way we write songs generally is we what the fuck is this? Well, basically it starts with, because Joachim and I usually write the songs together. Like that's how it has been since maybe not day one, but a long time ago. And so I usually sit down, I write a demo of the songs that I have in mind. I mean, you start with a riff, maybe an idea, maybe a melody, I don't know. It varies from song to song, but we start there and we go, and I just do some sort of a demo with, of course, no vocals, you know, obviously, because I don't sing. But turns out I have to hold my fucking phone in my hand this time too. I'm sorry, but at least I can read the comments a little bit better now. So I do a rough demo. Sometimes I have some melodies for the vocals, sometimes I don't. And when I've done that, finished that one, I send it over to Joachim, and then he does his thing with the lyrics and the vocal melodies, and of course puts on the singing to make it a demo. But we never do any we did actually do a pre-production last year for the first time of 7 out of the 12 songs, or maybe 8, I don't remember, but it doesn't happen a lot. Last time it was because we were good, you know, we had a lot of time, and we had time to do it. Actually, it was very beneficial, so I'm hoping we can do it next time again. So let's do some. I'm sorry if I missed a lot of questions now. They're just pouring in, and I'm just talking. I'm just gonna try to keep it shorter now. I got some comments on that since last time. So if you're wondering why I'm so red in the face, it's because it's really warm in here, and I was in the spa earlier, and I haven't chilled down since then. I'm trying to as much as I can with this ice cold beer, but it's not working. I think probably needs to drink a lot more. So M. Graf asks, when will come the DVD Blu-ray you record in Ludwigsburg in the shops? Okay, so when will the DVD or the Blu-ray that we recorded, live show that we recorded in Ludwigsburg be out? We haven't got a set date yet, but it'll be, well, you never know, right? With the coronavirus wreaking havoc on everything. But if things eventually come back to normal in a couple of months, we'll have it out in this fall before Christmas for sure. We're working on it right now to get everything ready. But it'll be this year. That's that much I can promise. Ingrid Gjenger asks, you had no post about your dogs. Are they well too? Well, some of you may know that I have 2 dogs, and they are extremely well. It's been a really, really nice weather the last couple of days, maybe a week or so. So we've been out a lot. The greyhound Zelda she loves it. We just left her outside today. We tried to call her in because we were eating a birthday cake for Snaps, the other dog. He's turning, 9 years old tomorrow. But we decided to celebrate today for some reason. I don't know. But so we had a whipped cream and strawberry cake that, and she loves whipped cream. All dogs love whipped cream. So we tried to get her in. Come on, come in with us. But she didn't want to. She was too happy on the couch outside. And it was, 10 degrees or so. But there was no wind. So it was really, really nice. But the dogs are doing great. Yes. Stop talking. Daniel Garcia says, blessing from Guatemala. Hope you don't run out of toilet paper. Well, no. We haven't actually done that yet. There is actually no. There's not a shortage. It's not like what you see on social media, like that all the toilet paper is sold out everywhere. You can buy toilet paper still. It's just less of it in the shelves, I think. But I got enough. I have, so I can make it through a month or so, whatever. We don't use that much toilet paper, only for the obvious reasons. David Jensen asks, do you guys have a plan for a live stream concert? Yeah, well, we got this question a lot in the last week or two, and especially since today was going to be the show in Stockholm. Yesterday we were supposed to play in Gothenburg, and today was going to be Stockholm, which of course for obvious reasons were postponed till who knows when. We'll get back to you on that, but probably this fall. I don't know. We don't have a date yet, but it might make sense to do a live stream concert somehow, but I don't know yet. We might do it eventually or pretty soon, who knows, but I can't tell you anything about it right now. Okay, let's do another one here. This is a question for Joachim or Fredrik or Pontus, but J. Hanula asks, which sort of sill is the best sill? Sill is a very special Swedish dish that we eat for Christmas and for Midsummers, which is another huge holiday in Sweden. And, well, Easter, I guess, lots of other places too. But it's like fermented, no, it's not fermented, it's pickled herring. And people in the band really love it, except for me. I hate it. I think it tastes like crap. But so I don't know. For me, no seal is the best seal, but for them, I'm sure they have opinions on that. I probably should have let Joachim answer this question. Metalhead asks, how was the first band rehearsal? Well, that's interesting, because the very, very first band rehearsal that HammerFall ever had was with yours truly, with my cousin Henrik, who just had started to learn to play guitar, and the drummer of the band I was in at that time, Crystal Age, Hans Nilsson. Hasse. Sidebar. Joachim is actually watching this, and he says, always löksill or regular inlagd sill. So there you have it, straight from the mouth of the singer. So the first band practice ever was that. This was before HammerFall was anything more than an idea, and we played 3 covers. I think it was Red Hot and Heavy by Pretty Maids. We played Be Quick or Be Dead by Iron Maiden, and we played Metal on Metal by Anvil. I think we managed one rehearsal before I broke my arm, and so we had to shelve those plans for a while. And when I came back from that, it took me about 6 months or so, and we were busy with Crystal Age for a while. I started out HammerFall more serious than that. On the side, but if you're asking about the first band rehearsal with Joachim, that's an interesting story, because this would have been probably April in 1996, and we were rehearsing in a basement in Mölndal, is in a town outside of Gothenburg in Sweden, and Joachim, we were there. I was there actually from already, me and probably I don't know, a couple other guys, and most likely Jesper came in with Joachim. Maybe he picked him up from the tram station or something. I don't really know, but they came in, and at the time I was just warming up or just playing a bunch of bullshit. And one of the things I was playing as he walked through the door was Dorian Gray by Stormwitch, which is one of my all-time favorite bands, like really, really all-time faves. And Joachim, at that time, this was 96, like I said, and not a lot of people cared to admit that they actually liked this type of music. Not a lot of people actually did like this type of music, which was 80s heavy metal. And so I don't think I had one friend that actually liked Stormwitch, or at least that still liked Stormwitch, I should rather say. So when Joachim walked in the door, I was playing this by myself in the corner. He immediately heard it, and he just looked at me and said, "Stormwitch, Dorian Gray." And my jaw was just to the floor like this. I couldn't believe my ears or eyes. I could not believe that anybody knew Stormwitch, and I mean, that was the best possible introduction that we could have to each other. Our musical tastes were very similar in a lot of ways, and we clicked right away. And of course, now 24 years later, we're still together. So I think that says a lot. Thank you, Stormwitch. Matt Adams says King Diamond shirt is awesome. Yes. All King Diamond shows are awesome. This is particularly awesome, I have to say. When I saw this online, was probably during the recordings of Dominion, I think, or maybe right before that. I saw it online, like an ad for it. I said, I'm getting this, and I bought it right away. Victor Berrios Soto asks, are you ever doing the 70,000 tons of metal again? Okay, that's a cruise. Well, right now I'm happy we're not on a cruise ship at this moment, but we did this twice, and it was tremendous. Really, really, really cool experience. And we will do it again for sure. Just have to find a time, because we're usually busy in January and February when this one takes place. We had a couple of options. A couple of offers. I should say, but it's always been times when we were going on the road already. We tour in Sweden, in Europe in January or February sometimes, and that has put a stop to us playing. But we will, if they want to have us again, for sure we will. It's a blast on those cruises. Daniel Gordon Larsson says, "Gotta go. I'm going to put my kids to bed and talk to my girl. But take care of you guys and rock on. You're awesome." Thank you, Daniel. Hope your kids sleep well and nice. Have a good evening. uh, so. Let's see. Let's go to. Oh yeah, we got another one. I didn't last time. I put together the questions. There were some late ones that I didn't notice, and one is particular from Jelena Trbic. She at least used to run the fan club. Maybe she does still. I'm not sure. But she has some really good questions. So let's go to her. Back in the 90s, you must have had an idea of how you wanted HammerFall to turn out one day. Seeing where you are now, how would you say those two pictures compare? Well, like I was talking a little bit about before, I was never, like, I didn't have any delusions back then, like in the early days of HammerFall. I never thought we would make it anywhere close to where we are. You know, I don't think anybody did really, because we didn't think there was a market for this type of music. We just played the music that we loved because we loved it and because nobody else was. So it fell to us to do it. And it took me years, to be honest, years to sort of get used to the idea that whatever secret dreams you might have had before, they're actually here now. You know, they're actually real. So I can't really say, you know, I didn't have any. It's beyond my wildest dreams what we have accomplished over the 24 years since then. But yeah, I didn't have any aspiration. Well, we had aspirations. We wanted to release a heavy metal album. We wanted to put out the heavy metal LP. Actually, that was the most important thing of all. We did, and from that point on, we just rolled on. She has a couple of more questions, actually pretty good ones. So let's go through. Oscar, imagine yourself as a video game character. How would you describe yourself? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I play a lot of video games. I do. So, how would I describe myself? I don't know. Probably a character that in a lot of ways I'm very black and white. Like it's either this way or that way, and it's easy to predict if you know me, but sometimes not, I guess. Also, so maybe I would be an evil boss somewhere down the line that changes up I mean, somewhere in late stages of the game that changes up the attacks, so you will never, you can't really be too comfortable. Yes. Speaking of video games, there was a question somewhere here from Shield Until I Die. Oscar, will we ever see you streaming on Twitch? Actually, that's something I have been thinking about for a couple of years. I have an account there. I never used it. I just created it a long time ago, 2 years ago at least. Just to see, you know, what's that all about. Never tried it. I don't know if there's any interest for it, really. I mean, if there is interest for it, if you people want to see it, please let me know, and I can make something happen for sure. I think that might be fun, especially, you know, nowadays when we're all locked up inside and stuff. But we'll see. Yeah, let me know, and we'll see how it goes. I might do that eventually. Some Twitch streaming. Adam Robinson asks, have you ever played Brutal Legend, which is a video game for the Xbox 360, maybe for PS3 too, I think, but it's from those days anyway. It's a pretty fun game, actually, and you got like, what was it? Was it Screaming for Vengeance or something? You got another thing coming, maybe some Judas Priest song early on and stuff, and Motorhead is in there. It's just a video game with heavy metal music, so I don't see how you can go wrong with that. It's pretty fun, actually. I played it a while ago. It was a long time ago now, but it's a really cool one. hell yeah, we would love to see you on stream the games you enjoy on Twitch from Stefan Kittman. Okay, thank you. So that's one. Dan Green asks, do you follow any sports? There's not much sport going around right now. Everything seems to be shut down. But yeah, for sure, Joachim is a huge fan of ice hockey and particularly Mora IK, which he follows. I mean, when we're on tour, he hooks up his computer, or maybe if the internet is too slow, he does it on the phone. But he watches all the games every day. Like, you can go into the dressing room and hear the ice hockey, you know what's going on, basically. I also love ice hockey, but I don't follow any team like that in the same way. I like to watch the big games, of course, for the World Championships and World Cup and stuff. World Championships and stuff. But as far as sports for me, it's basically only one that I like follow and watch religiously, and that's MMA, and particularly the UFC, obviously. I even have a UFC belt up there. I think you can see it, which I bought on a show that in Stockholm, maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago or so. It was a long time ago, 7, I don't remember. But so the UFC is something I really follow every show. I watch every event, maybe not all of the matches and everything, but because they all take place in the middle of the night, between like midnight and 7 in the morning here in Sweden. So I usually watch it on afterwards on Viaplay. But then I can fast forward through all the bullshit, so I can just watch the fights. But that's what I'm doing all on tour. Every Sunday after a big fight, I got my computer out, watching it. Lydia Duran continues with the video game theme. My favorite Zelda game is Ocarina of Time. What's your favorite Ocarina song in the game? P.S. would love to hear a solo of a Zelda game song. Yeah, that's a pretty fun question. Honestly, I've only played that one once. I played it because I don't think, as great as Nintendo are and always have been touted as for the controls on the games, I don't think they have managed to make the 3D version of any of their games playable until the 3DS and subsequently the Twitch. I abhorred. I bought Ocarina of Time when it came out, as well as Mario 64. I could not abide by the controls. I fucking hated the controls. I was actually... Frederick gave me... I have also a GameCube, but Frederick gave me his old GameCube. I put it up, played, and tried to play Wind Waker with my son, who is a bit into Zelda sometimes. And don't tell Frederick this. Hopefully, if he's watching now, close your eyes, Frederick. But I got so frustrated with the controls that I threw the controller in the wall twice and broke it. I'm sorry, but I just can't play it. The 3D, they haven't managed to do anything properly with the 3D. I mean, it's the same with every 3D game on the GameCube and on the 64. So that's why I didn't play a lot of Ocarina of Time, but I played it on the 3DS when it came out there, and I thought it was a fantastic game. I totally understand why people love it so much. It's just I couldn't do it when it came out. I just did it later. But that means also I don't have any favorites. Oh, sorry, Frederick. Fuck, I didn't think he was watching. Frederick just sent me an angry text now. Oops. Steven Leeser, I don't know, hope I said that right, asks, why did you go from black to blonde hair? A Viking thing? Well, the thing is, I'm actually blonde, naturally. I was blonde for the first 24 years of my life, maybe. Well, my life, I mean. But then I decided to... It's also another funny story, maybe. I went to the Kiss convention in. Well, at first I went to the Kiss shows when I dyed my hair black, just crappy, not completely black. It was just one of these fake black kind of novelty sprays, whatever, that you wash out after you're done. But I did that first for the show, for the Kiss show in '96. Or was the convention first? I don't remember. Yeah, probably not actually. But whatever. I did it for the show and the convention. I also put makeup with Gene Simmons, and put my hair up with a ponytail like that. And Joachim's band at this time was playing a Kiss song at this convention, which was in Gothenburg. That's when Vinnie Vincent was there, and so. They asked me to come on stage and breathe fire as Gene Simmons on that night. So this must have been the fall of '96 because I met Joachim the first time in like March or April. So probably fall of '96, I'm guessing. But anyway, so then I realized black hair was pretty cool. It's kind of nice. So I decided to, because Frederick's a girlfriend at the time she was a hairdresser, so she helped me with just to dye it black to see what it looked like and to do it properly. And so I liked it. I kept with it for 10 years, but it was really, it took a lot because I was blonde. I'm blonde originally. Every time the hair started growing after 2-3 weeks, you could see this growth here, and so I had to do it really often. And after 10 years, I just fed up with it. So I decided to go back to blonde, basically. And I mean, I'm not this. Of course, is also color because I'm old enough to have gray in my hair, or actually white in my hair now. But you can't see it because I sort of mask it. So that's the reason. So it was no reason that I just got tired of having to do it every 4 weeks, basically. So let's go back to Jelena's question because I know she had some good ones. What is, in your opinion, a very good HammerFall song that was sort of left or forgotten or underrated? Yeah, this is an interesting question because on every show that we do, every album that we do, there are, we've released 11 albums. You can't fit all of the songs in the set list. It's impossible. You can't do it. I would like to play all of the songs that we ever did, but, that was obviously going to be a, 10-hour show or something. So we have to pick and choose, and that's why it's getting really, like, some songs I'm so happy with. I think it turned out absolutely great in the studio, and then we have 3 or 4 other ones that were better suited for a live show. I don't know, whatever the reason is, and that means that unfortunately we can't play all that song. And so there are definitely songs on every album that I think that stands out, that I think we could easily have played and it would have made a difference, but we chose the other ones instead because it's they were more suitable or whatever. So yes, for sure, there are several of them on every album. But on the newest album, for example, Dominion, is a song that I thought that we were going to play live, counted on it because that's one of my favorite songs on the album, is Testify, and we can't fit it in. You can obviously fit it in, but we already played 5 new songs on the last tour that we did, so that's kind of the limit. Oh no. Sorry, I ruined your Saturday night. Okay. Question both separately. What was your favorite set of stage clothes throughout HammerFall history? That's a really interesting question because, as you may or may not know, or you might know probably, that we already always put a lot of thought into our stage clothes since day one. That was one of the things with HammerFall that was breaking from from the tradition at the time in the beginning. And that's one of the things I think is being overlooked by a lot of, like, the influence that we had on the music industry. Because when we started, almost every band were going on stage with whatever they were wearing in the morning, that when they woke up, maybe they put on a fresh t-shirt, maybe not. But that's it. Nobody cared. And I remember a time when it was actually considered a bad thing to have an image, because that meant that you didn't put any time into songwriting. It's like as if either image or songs, that's the only thing. You couldn't focus possibly on both, which I always thought was ridiculous. So all the bands I've ever been in have had stage clothes, leather chains, studs, and stuff like that. And HammerFall, of course, had it as well. And I think everybody agreed on that. It should be special to go on stage. It should feel like an event, like something that you want to do. And it should also set you. It shouldn't be like, it's just another thing I do during the day. It should be a special moment. And for as far as HammerFall goes, stage clothes, probably Renegade would be my favorite ones. I really enjoyed that vest that I had. If you don't know, check it out. You can Google it. Probably, image Google it or whatever. It was a pretty special get up, and I also had a cape, which was pretty fun. And like, to go back to what I was talking about, we were among the first bands that were really that took this all the way, so to speak. I mean, in the black metal genre, people always did that as well. So, I'm not saying we invented anything new, but in our genre and the things that the bands that were playing, the type of music that we did, or the popular metal bands, very few cared about what they were wearing. And after the success of HammerFall, I'd say that the stage, the people that started thinking about this a lot more. I'm not sure what the reason was, but I'm pretty sure that there was some sort of correlation between those two. At least that's what I think. Are there plans to make a new story so far DVD in the style of Rebels with a Cause? Not really now. Right now, because like Rebels with a Cause was released, let's see, 2007 maybe, 2008, I don't remember, something like that. It's a long time ago. Social media was not as big and developed as it is now. I don't think I think there is not really a need for a release like that. I mean, we started the story so far with the first Crusade back in '99, I want to say, which was pretty interesting. And but nowadays, you put everything up on social media, and it's people can access it there if they want to. I don't know. I'm not saying never, but we don't have any plans for the moment. Let's see what else. Actually, we have to wind it down now a little bit. Well, we can do a little bit more, as long as you're still watching. HammerForge.se is asking. There's a lot of questions about Infected, actually. This one is also about that. One thing I've been curious about for a while: do you think Infected would have been more successful if you had used Hector on the cover, like the Resurrected poster, for example, the green one? I'm guessing you mean. I really like the album, but it sure is a bit different from the rest. Well, that's an interesting thing also, because when Infected was released 9 years ago now. Hej brorsorna, tack så mycket. Vad kul att ni kollar. When Infected was released in 2011, we posted the cover on Facebook way before anybody had any anybody had heard anything, any songs or anything. we put up the cover, and this was the first cover without Hector, and people were furious about that. And I think that some people, I would say a lot of people, at least judging by the reactions, doomed the album. I mean, they decided this album was not going to be good, no matter what the music sounded like, because they didn't like the album cover. And that's too bad. I mean, obviously, you shouldn't judge a book by its covers. Having said that, though, you're right, Hammerforge. It is a bit different from the rest. Not terribly, but a bit different. It also has different type of production. We went with James Michael for that one. It's certainly different from the album previously, the ones we did with Charlie. I mean, they have a totally different approach to the sound, the overall sound of an album. But I think it's really good. The production that James provided for us was very fitting for the songs, because they, like you said, they do sound a little bit different. There are elements in there that we didn't have before, and maybe that turns some people off. I'm sure that's true as well. But your original question, if it would have been more successful if you used a Hector on the cover like the Resurrected, yes, I think so. Don't know this for sure. We'll never know, obviously, but I'm of the opinion that it would have made a difference, yes. Because I think people were too hasty to judge. Gary Heinley, maybe. Love the Renegade album. Thanks for putting melody back in metal at a time when no bands had any melody. Well, thank you, Gary. That's nice of you. That was sort of our why we did it in the first place. Not with Renegade, but already with Glory to the Brave. But those were the days. I mean, the mid 90s were full of bands that based their music on aggression and rhythm and nothing else. And we love aggression and rhythm, but we want to have the melodies too. So that's why HammerFall sounds the way we do. Nebojsa Mitrovic asks, will there be a Renegade 20th anniversary edition this year? Yes. Well, the plan is, or was, yes. Since it's 20 years now, it's time for Renegade. But who knows with the Corona? How long this will take to get things back to normal? We don't know, and there will be a huge backlog of releases, of concerts, maybe in the factories that presses the albums, that manufactures them. That's going to be a problem too, probably, if it keeps on going for a couple of months. So we'll see. We have plans for it, but I just don't know yet or right now if it's going to happen or not in this year. But eventually, for sure, yes. Marcus Fröberg says, my car is named Hector after you. That's great. That's pretty cool. So let's go to this. Let's go. Only a couple more questions now. Okay, so a lot of you are talking about Renegade too now. V1 Aris 1 of Fedorov. I don't know what that is. It's what's going on with the summer dates. Any inside news from Tons of Rock, for instance? Well, it's the same. I think you get this question. I mean, this answer for everybody. We don't know. Who knows? If this lockdown and thing keeps on going. I mean, for example, today, or no, was it yesterday? Maybe Sweden went from a 500 people was the maximum you could gather now to 50, and it's probably going to go down to less than that in the next couple of weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen this summer. We just can keep our fingers crossed, but it's not anything we can have any influence over. I mean, if Tons of Rock, for example, or whatever festivals we have booked are doing it, obviously we're going to be there. But we can just keep our fingers crossed. I think that's, or in Sweden we say this, hålla tummen. Kom igen då. Yeah, that's how we do it in Sweden for some reason. Alcorl asks, do you choose who your support special guest is for a tour, or is that something that's just decided by the organizing company, or do you have more or less to accept it? And you have more or less to accept it. Support acts are always chosen by HammerFall. Maybe, we don't go out and pick, we're going to have these guys, because it doesn't work like that, obviously. But we always approve on the bands that go with us on tour, because we want to put together, and this has been the same since absolutely day one. We want to put together a package for the people. Like, if people come for HammerFall, they love HammerFall, they buy the ticket to go see the band. But if we put on bands that are too far from our sound, it will be pretty difficult for people to stand there and watch this for the whatever hours that it takes for HammerFall to come on stage. And that's why we only have 2 support bands. We don't have a ton. In the US, it's different. It works differently over there. So that's what sometimes you can have 5 opening acts plus the support and also HammerFall. But when we have the possibility to choose, we limit it to 3 bands. There's the only tour we didn't. We was on the Infected tour. We had 4 bands in total, and we also had 2 bands that were very far off from the HammerFall sound, a bit rougher. And I guess there were some complaints that it was different, and they maybe didn't appreciate it so much. But so that's why I think it's important that you have a great package that would keep the party going all night, basically. And I think that's what we used to. This one, that's what we did on this last tour with the Sirius Black and Battle Beast, of course. It was a really good package that I think a lot of people appreciated. Robert Hamilton asks, are you following Chris Jericho and AEW? Yes, in the sense that I, of course, follow Chris and keep up with what he's doing. It's interesting to see how he constantly reinvents himself. He's a wrestling genius, I have to say. Very, very interesting to see how he keeps improving. I believe he's either 2 years younger or 2 years older than I am. Or maybe 1 year younger and 1 year older. He's probably 1 year older than I am, so I think he's 49 this year. I think so. You can check it out or look it up. But I don't know how many 49-year-olds there are out there that is doing this on as high of a level as he is right now, and it's blowing everybody's mind. So it's really, really cool what he's doing. I don't follow AEW. I don't really follow any wrestling like that anymore. I don't have the time, honestly. I've got too many other things going on at home. And one thing that goes for the UFC too. The events that they hold, they are 6 hours long, 7 hours long, 8 hours long sometimes. I don't have that. I don't want to have that time for something like that. I don't have that time to invest in it. And so, unfortunately, that's the way it is, with a lot of things. And it's a really annoying guy who shares the last name with me called Daniel Dronjak. He asks, have you ever had the nickname Mr. Kep? Yes, I have, and he knows, of course, because this is my younger brother. He looks 10 years older, but he's actually 1.5 years younger. But yeah, when we were kids, or when I was younger, when I just started playing the guitar, maybe 14, 15 years old, I had a shirt or a sweater it said Mr. Kep on the back. I have no idea what that was. It just said Mr. Kep. So I used that as an artist name, like a pseudonym, what's that in English? A pen name for a while. I just thought it was fun to have that. Oh, David is joining also. Where's the course? He's asking. Of course, it's right here. The course is right here. On a Saturday night, course is always within reaching distance. Det är sen gammalt. It's funny, David is watching. Hello, David. Scott Cagle, it's not a question, but he says, you're an awesome guitarist. Thank you very much, Scott. I'm not an awesome guitarist. I'm trying. Pontus is an awesome guitarist. But what I do is I play as good as I can, basically. You know, I try to keep the songs, like when I write music, I don't write songs that I can't play. You know, it's with today's technique and you know the Pro Tools and whatnot, you don't have to be able to play the instrument that well. You can fake it if you want to. But I always try to do the songs that we do as like to my to my ability, you know, so I can actually do it. And that's important, I think, and I'm getting better. I made a New Year's resolution. The only New Year's resolution I've ever done in my whole life was in 2011. I did 2 that year. One was the next New Year's Eve, I'm not going to be living in an apartment where I'm disturbing the guests, because Frederick and I had a bit of an incident at 4 o'clock in the morning. But that was one. The second was I'm going to get better at playing guitar. And that took me a couple of years, but with the help of Pontus, he taught me. Well, he didn't teach me so much, but he pushed me, and he also showed me some things like warm-up stuff that to just get better. And it took me a couple of years, but I'm a million times better now than I was. Well, not a million times, but I'm a lot better now than I was 9 years ago. And you know, so I'm very proud of that. That's why I'm talking about it right now. Michael Sakanek. Well, no, yeah. Do you plan to play in the Czech Republic this year? So who knows? You know, who knows. I can't say anything about future shows because we don't know where we're standing. It's a lot. There's a lot of things can happen over the summer and the next couple of years. Tiemu Hapanen asks, was many songs from Glory to the Brave written years before its release? Steal Me Steal was written, let's see, in 1993. I wrote that actually for the band I was in at that time called Ceremonial Oath, but I left that band without even introducing that song to the others because we had a bit of a disagreement. And so I took that song with me, and that sort of was the start of HammerFall for me. I wanted to play heavy metal again, and I had that song and a band name and the idea of an image, like what we were going to be, what we were going to look like, and how HammerFall was going to sound like. So that one was early. Unchained was pretty early too. We put that one together for the music competition that we had, that we played in. And this is something I'm not actually sure. Joachim might remember this, but I mean, we played it with him, I'm pretty sure, on vocals, but I don't know if when he made the lyrics for it and what the vocal, he might, yeah, probably did the vocal melodies as well. So yeah, maybe that one also was before, but that was still the same year, so that would have been 96. Apart from those two, or actually apart from Steal Me Steal, all of the songs for Glory to the Brave was probably written in that year. You know, maybe ideas were existed already for songs, but yeah, that's probably what it was. Ideas and riffs and stuff I probably had collected over the years, but or was Unchained played before, but maybe with different vocal melodies? Maybe. I'll let Joachim answer this next time. You can ask him again if he does another Q&A, because he will remember that for sure, what he did or didn't do. Daniel Garduño asks, why do you love rhythm guitar more than lead guitar? Thank you. That's a great question. Well, one thing is because I'm not that good at lead guitar. I'm getting better. As I said, I have improved a lot in that area, but I've always been a riff guy. You know, I love the riffs. The just when I pick up a guitar, like many guitar players, Pontus included, by the way, he picks up the guitar and he immediately goes whatever. You know. First of all, I can't do that. I can't do that shit. I can play maybe parts, but I don't want to. I don't feel the need to. For me, there's nothing, and I really mean nothing, in music that compares to picking up the guitar, turning on the amp, and of course it has to be a great heavy metal sound then, and just riffing away. That's my absolute favorite thing to do in music, and it's been like that since day one. And I probably think that's why I started playing guitar in the first place. In when I was 14, because I wanted to play those riffs of the gigantic bands that I loved, like Accept, for example, or Judas Priest. So yeah, I think we gotta wind down. Yeah, we've been doing this for an hour almost. So we gotta let's see, 3 more questions. I'm gonna scroll back and see what I missed in the beginning when I was bullshitting around. It's a lot of hey and hello, still stay healthy and stuff. Hello guys, thank you for watching. By the way, I have to say that too. I hope you all stay healthy and take care of yourselves. Alison Kingsley asks, what is a good custom guitar? I think it's inherent in the name, custom guitar. If this custom is usually maybe not hand built, but built to specs. So I think any guitar that's custom built by people who know what they're doing is probably going to be a great guitar. I'm pretty sure. Humberto Jara Avila asks, favorite black metal band, Oscar? Well, I don't have that many favorite black metal bands. I don't really listen that much to black metal. I don't know. I used to listen to it, but I was more into technical death metal back then. I loved the black metal vocals, but I also did not like. I'm talking now like around 1990. I didn't approve of people, because at that time there was sometimes some bands or some ideas were floating around that the black metal was supposed to sound like you recorded in one day, like with Venom. They recorded all their albums in a couple of days, and it sounded like that. I mean, but this was in 81 and 83 and 82 and stuff. Now we're talking a lot later, several years later, where things had improved to the point where you could actually get a better sound, but it was supposed to be poor, or not poor, but supposed to be I guess stripped down, simple. I don't know, but I well, how I was teenager. I was very like this, strict, and like I had my ideas about things. So whether they were right or not, I stopped listening to black metal for a while, so I don't really have any favorite black metal bands, unfortunately. Last question now, because now things are going south. Let's see. We go. Last one. Do we have one? Okay, so there's a lot of comments, not that many questions here. All right, let's end on this one. Jim Sykes asks, seeing HammerFall open for Dio, this was in 2002, was one of my favorite concerts ever. Do you have any good Ronnie James Dio stories? So we did a long tour in the North America. We were the first support with Dio and for Dio, and then King's X was a special guest. Bit weird combination, but that's what it was, how it was done back then. And this was also in the territory where, I mean, Dio was really popular in certain areas, but heavy metal as a whole was kind of down the drain in at least the heavy metal that I'm talking about. The stuff, the genre that we represent. But Dio has, of course, always been a major influence on HammerFall, and it was really like we were really fortunate to be able to do a full tour with him, and it was. It didn't lead to a lot of stuff that we thought it might. It didn't lead to us opening up the territory, or because it was. North America was not ready for it back then, but it was also great to be able to share the stage with one of like one of the absolute heavy metal Mount Rushmore faces, Dio, Ronnie James. It was a total honor for us, and it was. I don't know if we had any fun story. I have one thing that I was really embarrassed about, because my brother lived at that point in Texas. We had an off day, going from maybe Phoenix, I don't remember, towards the end of the tour. I wanted to get to Texas as soon as we could, because I wanted to see my brother. I haven't seen him in a year or two. We were on Dio's bus, actually partying a little bit, just hanging out and listening to him talk, because we were all really big fans of his, so we wanted to just hang out and be there. And I went over, and I wanted to go. I wanted to leave, and Stefan did not, because they were having fun, But it was a pretty long drive, I remember. So I wanted to leave as soon as we could. But then I got angry with Stefan. I was drunk, of course, and so I walked out of Dio's tour bus and slammed the door as hard as I could. And you don't do that, That's a big no-no. I didn't think of it at that point, but later on, Stefan came in, I think, and told me that Dio was a bit. Well, he wasn't upset, I don't think. At least not at that point. He was more like, "What's wrong with him?" But then it came to me from his crew the next day that it was a very disrespectful thing to do, which I totally agree, and so I felt compelled to go in and apologize to him. So I did, hat in hand, and I said, "I'm so sorry. I wanted to see my brother," and blah blah. I'd explain the situation for him. And he was, of course, the nicest guy in the whole world. And that's the thing with Dio. I don't know how he did it at that time. I mean, I don't know how old he was in 2002, but I mean, he's been doing this shit for 40 years or so, 35 at least. And after every show, and I mean every show, he walked out. He had a couple of people that he knew, maybe fans that always comes to the show. I don't know. He had a special meet and greet after every show with just friends. He was hanging out with them every show, still singing, performing to the absolute best, like the highest standard you can have in heavy metal is Ronnie James Dio's voice, and it never faltered, and he still was doing this every night, just because he was just such a nice guy, and that's my absolute best memory of him. Just the cool guy that he was. So now I think we gotta go. Oh, okay, this is how we do it. I gotta go now. It's been a little bit too long. I'm sorry about that, but thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I really enjoyed this. I will do this again, if you want me to, and if you want me to Twitch, let me know. Like I said, and so take care, stay healthy, stay safe out there. And cheers. All right. Bye, guys.